All right, today we're going on a mission. And our target? It's that universal enemy that messes with our health, our happiness, our focus. You guessed it, stress. But listen, this isn't about just getting by. This is about actually conquering it. And for that, you're going to need a toolkit. So let's get started.
First up, let's just get a sense of the scale here. A recent study found that a whopping 4 out of 10 adults have felt extreme stress. So if you've been feeling totally overwhelmed, you are so not alone in this. This is a battle a lot of us are fighting, and just knowing that is the first step.
So what exactly are we up against? Well, think of stress as your body's built-in alarm system. In small doses, it's actually helpful. It keeps you alert for a deadline, right? The problem is when that alarm gets stuck in the on position and just won't shut off. That's when it becomes chronic, and that's what we're here to tackle. And when that alarm is just constantly blaring, it turns into the silent enemy, doing real damage to pretty much every part of our lives. So let's take a closer look at how exactly it does that. It basically attacks on 3 fronts. First, there's the physical stuff. You know, the headaches, the racing heart, getting sick all the time because your immune system is shot. Then it creates this emotional fog, that constant anxiety or irritability where you just can't seem to focus. And finally, it starts to change our behavior, pushing us towards things like unhealthy eating or just pulling away from people we care about. Okay, now for the good stuff. Let's open up the first part of your toolkit. I like to call this the rapid response unit. These are super simple, super powerful things you can do in literally 30 seconds or less, right in the moment when you feel that stress starting to creep up.
First tool up is breathing. Seriously, it's like the remote control for your nervous system. When you feel that tension building, just try this. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for 8, and then slowly breathe out for a count of 4. Do that a couple of times. It's like sending a direct message to your body to just stand down.
Now, this next one is going to sound a little weird, but stick with me. Force yourself to smile. Yeah, even if you don't feel like it. There's this thing called the facial feedback hypothesis, which basically means your facial expressions can actually influence your mood. The simple act of smiling can release endorphins, which kind of tricks your brain into feeling a little bit better. It's a total biological hack. You know how stress creates that physical tension that just gets locked into our muscles, especially in our neck and shoulders? Well, sometimes all you need to do is stand up, reach for the ceiling, and just do a simple stretch for a few seconds. It breaks that physical pattern of stress and gets your blood moving again. And the last rapid response tool, sound. Putting on some gentle music, or even just some nature sounds like rain, can have an immediate effect. It's been shown to actually lower your levels of cortisol. That's the body's main stress hormone. It's a great way to find a little island of peace in the middle of all the chaos. Now, those rapid response tools are fantastic for putting out the little fires, but the real goal, the ultimate mission, is to build a fortress of resilience so that stress has way less power over you to begin with. So this next part of the toolkit is all about the daily habits that build that long-term strength. And the key word here is consistency. These aren't one-time fixes. They are the absolute foundational pillars of your well-being. Think about it. Getting in 30 minutes of exercise to get those endorphins flowing, making 7 to 8 hours of sleep a non-negotiable, eating a healthy diet to give your brain the fuel it needs to fight back. Even just 5 minutes of meditation can totally reset your day. And of course, never ever underestimate the power of connection. And this just says it all, doesn't it? It's not just about being in a room with people. It's about having a real conversation. Sharing what's on your mind with someone you trust, it's like releasing a pressure valve. It gives you perspective and reminds you that you don't have to carry everything all by yourself. Okay, so we've got our rapid response tools and we've got our long-term resilience habits. But what about when you're facing a very specific stressor? You know, a problem at work, a worry about money. For that, you need a battle plan. So let me ask you, when a problem hits, what's your first reaction? Is it just chaos and anxiety? Or do you have a go-to strategy? Having a structured approach is what takes you from that feeling of being totally out of control to actually having a plan. And here is that plan. It's a simple 4-step process. First, you have to identify the real cause. What's actually at the root of this feeling? Second, be brutally honest with yourself. What parts of this can I actually control, and what parts are completely out of my hands? Third, for the things you can control, make a plan. Small, actionable steps. Taking action is the best antidote to feeling anxious. And finally, and this is the hardest step, after you've done all you can, you have to practice acceptance and let go of the things you can't control. So there you have it. You've been briefed. You've been equipped. You have your rapid response tools, you have your long-term resilience habits, and you have a strategic battle plan for specific threats. Now, it's time to put it all together. This is your mission moving forward.
So let's do one final recap of your arsenal. You've got those rapid tools like breathing for in-the-moment relief. You've got the daily habits like exercise and sleep that build your long-term strength, and you have that 4-step plan to systematically take apart specific problems. These are your most powerful weapons.
And on any mission, the smartest people know when it's time to call for backup. If stress just feels totally overwhelming and you've tried everything, reaching out to a therapist isn't a sign of failure. It is a sign of incredible strength and commitment to your own well-being.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. This isn't just a bunch of information. It's an invitation to act. Your mission to conquer stress doesn't start tomorrow. It starts right now, with one small step. So, which tool from your new toolkit are you going to use first?
Health is the most precious gift. If this video helped you or someone you love, please like, subscribe, and share so more families can stay safe and healthy.